Hello, I'm Eric Snodgrass, and thank you for watching today's Western U.S. Regional Forecast video, brought to you by Nutrien Ag Solutions. Well, certainly one of the bigger stories we've had in terms of weather across the western United States has been the much below average temperatures we've seen throughout the month of February. In fact, just to kind of make a point about this, take a look at this map here, again, showing you temperature departures from normal since over the last 25 days. There are parts of Montana right in through here that go off my color bar, which means they've been colder than minus 25 off of normal. So that's an anomaly. That's incredible. Now, what we have to talk about in this video is where's that cold air going, what's its staying power, and what about major precipitation events? Because all three things here are really going to be changing. First thing is some really good news. Now, you know I show you these maps every time we talk, but through February 25th, our base and average snow water content map is looking fantastic. We've been discussing about some residual drought issues in Oregon. Well, right now I've got almost every reporting station in Oregon at or above 100%, with really only the ones that border up here getting into Washington State that are still in the 80s and 90s. But still, 80s and 90s is good, so we're packing in the snow. Look at this down in California. We've got 150 to 170% of normal, and we are not done. We're packing it in. And we're going to talk here in a few minutes about the snow we're going to be seeing over the coming days as this next pattern gets really going. Now, this is our all-hazards weather map that came out on Tuesday afternoon. I'm just going to tell you something. What you see right in through here, just expect it to continue. We're going to be seeing winter storm watches and warnings with some possible coastal flooding problems here in California, setting up at least to the next 5 to 7 days. And the bitterly cold air giving us the wind chill advisories in Montana, that's not going anywhere either. So our flow pattern is going to be primarily set up with some strong onshore flow event coming through California and Oregon here in the near term. So let's talk snow first. I wanted to give you the whole U.S. map that's over here on the left that takes us out for the next week. But I wanted to zoom in here on where we're going to be seeing our heaviest snowfall amounts. So we will be picking up in parts of the northern Sierra Nevada mountains potentially another 6+ feet of snow with this next atmospheric river event that's coming through. But look through the southern half of Oregon. The Coast Range picking up quite a bit, the Cascades picking up quite a bit, and so will the whole of the Columbia Basin. Still quite a bit of snow to be added in here. Now, when we get over into Idaho, it's really going to be the area that gets lifted over the Sawtooth Mountains and the northern Rockies where we pile up some of that snow. And again, because the flow is like this, it's those highest peaks that really get hit. So look over here in parts of Wyoming. Outside of that, I just want to show you the rest of Montana as this upper level trough ends up developing here kind of west of the Hudson Bay. We're going to get several little clippers that kind of snake through this area. So when we get on the eastern side of the Rockies there in Montana, we're still going to expect to pick up 4 or 5 inches of snow for a large swath here. But again, this is going to be coming on multiple events over the coming days. Now, in terms of precipitation, liquid side of this, we're going to come down to California. What you see over here on the left, that just again illustrates total precipitation. But look on the right. Along the coast, we could be picking up quite a bit of precipitation. Again, you can just see the direction of this even before I show you which way it's coming in. Coastal regions may be picking up anywhere between 2 and 4 inches, and even the valley in here getting in on this over the next week, possibly getting another inch or so of rainfall. We will see down here in the San Gabriel Mountains, San Joaquin, down here, this area could be picking up, even the San Bernardino's picking up some heavier precip, but certainly the desert's staying dry on this side of it. So this kind of gives you that detailed look of precipitation over the next week. Well, the setup is still split, okay? And that's something I want to talk with you about because this may be breaking down by the time we get to mid-March. Now look at all the little low pressure centers sitting here and spinning. They're going to continue to take aim on California and also on Oregon as they sweep through here because this pattern setup is one that brings a lot of moisture to our shores. Beyond that, look at what the cold air is going to do. I wanted to take you out here to next weekend. We see the models are really honing in on a few things. One, the dominance of a large area of higher atmospheric pressure sitting here. And that's where our coldest and driest air is sitting. That is going to stay put and get unleashed toward the southeast. So Montana, I am so sorry it's been so cold. I wish I could change it, but I'm at least going to tell you this. The rest of the country is going to feel your pain. We're going to send that cold air all the way to the Gulf Coast. Meanwhile, look out west. Ridging near the surface, setting up here with a long region of lower atmospheric pressure. That is that atmospheric river event we're going to be seeing here in California. So watch this. It's coming in waves. We're going to be seeing a lot of strong onshore flow here. And you're going to see these little bands of lighter snow spreading around the upper level trough that's sitting in that area. So as we kind of move forward, it's going to be east of the Rockies versus west of the Rockies, let's take a look at our European model picking up on these precipitation events. So stepping back, this is getting you through Tuesday night and Wednesday morning. First big coastal low is hitting Oregon and California, and it spreads across parts of Washington, getting over to Idaho, and then eventually some of the remnants getting over there into Montana. But Montana, much of your precipitation is going to be coming off of these little clipper systems, not the Pacific. So it looks like all the way through middle and end of this week, we have a couple of systems that come on shore. There's the next one coming in on Saturday and hitting the West Coast. Now things are going to calm down Sunday. Look at this. Into Monday, into Tuesday, and by Wednesday, here comes our next big coastal low hitting the West Coast. So you can kind of see it's coming in waves here. We just kind of took a little bit of a detailed look there. But again, we wanted to really focus on the bigger picture things in terms of the total moisture. Now, if we want to get rid of this pattern, we've got to see two things change. We've got to get rid of the ridging over Alaska. We've got to stop with the big troughing events that happen here. So let's just watch out for the next 15 days to see if we see much of a change there. Certainly the coastal lows keep hitting California, keep hitting the west, but that ridge, just notice it stays put. It's there. And I get you all the way out to mid-March, and we still kind of see much of the same thing. But I've got some good news. We are starting to get some hints that by the time we get into the middle of March, I'm talking about March 15th, 16th, 17th, we may start to trough. Get a trough here over Alaska. That will take this deeper trough and shove it east and get it out of the way. And if that occurs at the same time that this thing called the Madden-Julian oscillation goes into phases 4 and 5, we could signal a shift away from this pattern, at least away from the brutally cold temperatures. And I do mean brutally cold. Here's every 6 hours stretching out over the next 15 days. And we really see that colder air stuck in Montana. It's really going to be quite cold this weekend and stretching into next week. But if you kind of go back to this and watch it again, where the warmth will be down here in California and Nevada, even starting off this week, pushing up into Idaho. You'll see the warmer conditions there. But as that trough reestablishes itself out west, see how we get back into that cooler pattern. But you need to keep all eyes focused on Alaska. Our first hints at a change in pattern will come from Alaska. Now, here is what the U.S. model is picking up on. And right now, I got to clue in on what it's saying. Do you see how we're picking up on these wetter than average conditions for week 2? So I've now got you all the way out here into that second week of March. Now, what would possibly give us this pattern would be a much stronger subtropical branch of the jet stream doing something like this across the country. If we've got that, we're going to flatten out the jet stream and get rid of big ridging like this, and instead maybe give us a little bit more zonal flow coming out of the Pacific. Now, the significance of that would mean we would get rid of our negative EPO. Now, what is that? The East Pacific Oscillation. It has gone negative, which builds a huge ridge over Alaska. Well, if it moves back toward the positive phases, look up here in the upper right-hand corner, tend to give us more troughing over Alaska and ridging north of Hawaii. And what that spells is a much more zonal jet. And when that happens, we tend to warm up, and we tend to get wet right along California and Oregon. So I got to watch this. I wrote up here, I still have some uncertainty with this, but this is a key feature to be watching for the western part of the United States as we progress forward, because the EPO is what currently is and what will continue to dominate our pattern for the foreseeable future into the beginning of March. Hence the cold conditions, because we have the opposite of what you see in the upper right-hand corner. But if we break this down back toward average, back toward normal, that spells some change. We'll keep you updated with this with multiple videos throughout the week, but I want to thank you for your attention as I keep you updated here on the major weather systems affecting the western United States. But with that, we'll wrap this one up. We at Nutrien Ag Solutions hope you look forward to our next regional forecast coming out for the West very soon. In the meantime, have a great week, and we'll talk to you again soon. Thank you.